Oh, we're live. Hello! I know no one's there, but say hello for the people who do actually watch this. In fact, obviously, I'm doing this early in the morning. Early, not really early as it's 10 o'clock. Today, I'm going to be finishing off this chappie from Battleground. Battleground, that's the thing. I'm going to be putting some Astro Granite down on Titus here because he is now done, and I'm going to be starting some little Ewoks for Star Wars Shatterpoint because I need to paint me some Shatterpoint. And we've got lots of wee little Ewoks to paint, so yippee-yi-yi. So I'm going to kick things off by doing the Astro Granite on Titus and get that out of the way. Again, if you're new to these, the reason why I'll duck our camera slightly every so often because I'm just recording for the paint guide. Can't see my phone. Recording for the paint guide. So occasionally, at the beginning when I start painting a new paint, I'll be ducking off over this direction. So do apologise in advance. But unfortunately, I can't really get everything set up as need be. I want to add a little bit of flair to the to Titus's base with some barbed wire. I need to move everything. Everything's kind of in the way at the moment. I'm like covering my paint area in paints instead of putting them back. Oh my god! Good start to the day. Just drop the model immediately while he's covered in goo. Oh, hello, Ghost. How are you? Having a good day? Probably not. Probably too early for you. I would do these in the evening, but by the time I get to the evening, I can't be bothered to paint. That's why I crank this stuff out. Crack this out. That's got a whole different meaning. Crank this stuff out during the day, during the first thing in the morning. Because I got bugger all else to do. I'm not going to be doing Titus's. This is a pain in the butt to get. I'm not going to be doing Titus's chapter symbol today because it takes a while for this Astro Granite to dry. Let me do another stuff. Sleepy and my stomach hurts. How's yourself? I'm okay. Enjoyed painting this guy. It's nice to be painting smaller models after the gigantic Galactus. So check that video out, by the way. The paint guide went up for yesterday. If you've got him and if you haven't painted him like me and you've been thinking, should I squash this? Try squash this a little bit, like squish it down a bit. Maybe. It's very high. Oh, and then I put that in the sunlight so it dries quicker. I'll be able to get it done today. Turn this off. So yesterday, I finished off Titus. I did that not on stream, obviously. He's a fun little model to paint. I think Ultramarines and Space Marines can be fun by themselves, but I get really bored when I'm doing them all at once. Right, we'll start the Shatterpoint stuff in a minute when I get to the first wash for today's Battle Ram. Right, so what do we need? We need to paint the yellow. First of all, we need a brush. Where's the brush? All this. I'm a messy pup. I need to clean up a bit. after these trains. Right, so I'm going to relayer the Everland Sunset, which is a lovely yellow if you're new to this. I'm going to relayer that just to brighten things up a bit. That's as far as I'm going to go, because again, this has got like little markings on it, so I want to paint those little markings on later. They're using different colors, so I'll be doing that. But I want this base coat just to be a little bit bright, or a little bit brighter than it is. Oh, let's stop recording. I don't want to have a half an hour long video of me doing one color. So there we go, there's that. I do love these Battleground models, they're absolutely fantastic. There's so many good games out now, it's amazing. You're always spoiled for choice now in the old wargaming community. Okay, so that's that highlighted, and then I've got, what colours have we got next? We've got red. Yeah, so we've got red, orange, and a brighter yellow to do. I've also got the yellow. Actually, let's not forget, I've got the yellow on his helmet. Let's do that first before I do that. So we've got a little bit on the side of his helmet. And of course his glasses. Or his visor, I should say, not his glasses. That's that done. Next I'm going to highlight the yellow further. Hello, Danger Mouse. Oh, can you see my t-shirt and my belly? Can't see my t-shirt there. Ooh. And he's going on a diet. I'm a stereotypical chubby boy now. I'm a massive nerd. I'm overweight. That needs to change. I used to be just a massive nerd and skinny, so I suppose I was in the other direction. Right, so I'm gonna use a 50-50 mix of Avalanche Sunset and Flash Gits Yellow for the next color. There's a tiny little highlight that I've got to do on his armor, so let's get that done. I accidentally paint his knuckles. That's good. Always do that too. Always make sure you make as many mistakes as possible when you're painting, because that way it becomes tedious and annoying. This is basically the base coat, because I'm going to brighten up even further in a second with Flash Gits Yellow by itself. If you've got this model and you haven't stuck him together yet, don't stick him together fully. Definitely do 100%. Like paint him in separate parts, because he's an absolute pain in the backside to get in there. I don't know why I glued him together. I was just excited to get a lot, I think, so I just painted. Let's glue it all together. I always do that. I'm like, oh, this model's amazing. How am I going to paint it? So it's why, look, I see I did the smart thing. I put these guys together recently. So my little Ewoks are all separated to make it easier on me. Right, so that's that. I don't know how I need to kind of make this as visor a little bit more reflective. So let's try and this will be the last sort of full highlight, and I think then I'm going to go and try a different bit. So these bits here, there's a little bit here as well that needs to be painted too. There are brighter yellows in the background yellow, so they need to be highlighted. Or picked out, I should say, not highlighted. So that's that done. Now we're going to go for Flash Gets Yellow by itself to brighten things up even further. This will probably be the last highlight for the actual yellow though. Especially the visor. I need to do sort of, well, actually no, especially the ring, I should say, not the visor. The visor needs to be highlighted one more time with a white to make it look reflective. There we go, turn the camera off.
People are always coming in, Michael, I'm watching you so much last weekend, this movie. It's been company. Secrets of a Call, more Secrets of a Call. The lead character, Shia, is ready to murder, Robin Evans, and winds up looking at Bordella in the I don't want to look at her. I like it. I don't want to be Shia. I like being
Okay, so I'll highlight the visor, but we're going to do it in a way so it looks reflective, or attempt to do it so it looks reflective. So we're going to do a highlight at the very top. It's not going to be a full highlight, it's going to be a very thin line. I'm just going to curl it around ever so slightly on the second bit, on the edges, I should say. And then, to make it look a little bit more reflective, we'll just do lines that go down the center. And then we're going to mix a little bit of white with it. Just to add that reflectiveness. Oh my days, that's too much white. I don't like boxing. I don't like why people rave about these droppers. They're always a nightmare to use. Alright, so we'll do a 50-50 mix. And again, we're going to continue to follow that top line, and then can you hold it up to the camera from time to time so you can see it better? Yeah, sure. I mean, the camera's really blurry, so but I'll do my best for that. You see, it's still blurry. Definitely need to get a better camera, but we're working on that. Baby steps as well. Oh, you see that? Focus for a millisecond. Brilliant. Thank you, camera. Yeah, so now we're just going to do the tiniest bit of a highlight just around the lens there. Again, need a better webcam. Just a couple of dots of white, just to make it look like reflective and whatnot. We don't want to overpower it with white. It's literally just the smallest, thinnest, like dots. So that way, it just looks like so any external light is catching on it. You probably can't see that. Like you probably can't see that because of the webcam. But yeah, I'll say when the paint guy comes out, you'll be able to get a better look at it. So yeah, right. So we've done his we've done that. So we've got orange next. And this is where I'm going to start doing the detailing as well. There's details that need to be painted. What is that? There's details that need to be painted along the bottom here. Just sort of like paint details, really, that to brighten things up a bit and break that color up. So the orange I'm going to use is going to be a very subtle orange. If I can actually find the orange, I'm going to say orange one more time. Orange, 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 orange. Is that Chicaro orange? There it is. So we're going to use Chicaro orange. Although this is another paint of mine that needs replacing. I basically need to do a full paint replacement, I think, because most of these have dried out. Some of them are very, very old, because obviously you don't use them very often, and others have just dried out because, again, you don't use them very often. So, okay, so I'm going to paint this section here. These two little bits on the side here and here with some Chicaro orange to begin with. Then they're going to get a wash. But while that wash is drying, I'm going to use or start painting the other red details on here. This Chicaro orange is so thin it's barely registering as a paint. That's good. And by good, I mean really irritating. Damn it. Oh, this brush is dead. This one is. This one needs to be relegated. Okay, yeah, I think I need to do a list of paints I need to replace. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, so I just realised I've also got another He-Man game coming on the way. I've got the Clash of Eternia from Come On, or Cool Minis or Not, or whatever they're called, or Simon, however you pronounce it. Because they released that in England, or they, in the UK and Europe. So looking forward to that. Oh, this is going to take more than one coat. How annoying. Oh, how annoying. I flight for the boarding. Okay, so I'll do that little. That is a Chicaro orange. It's kind of like a little flame, a little fire. So let's just try and be as neat as possible. And do the multiple layers that we have to. Oh, this Chicaro orange is so garbage. Oh my god, it's so thin. I can't really see what I'm doing probably. So let's do this. Looks like it does just go into the thing here. Just further behind the boot. That's really annoying. I've gone slightly over. Finish that, just delete that a bit. Okay, alright. So we need some Fugan orange to make that brighter. Or well, give it a shade, I should say. But it also helps brighten the Jacquera orange. Jacquera orange is quite a dark, or not dark, sort of pale orange. And Fugan orange brightens it up quite a lot. That's way too much wash on my brush there. As you can see, just get it there. I'm also going to very sneakily do a little bit down here as well. With the Jacquera orange, that way I can go back in. Oh, because it looks like it's got a little bit of a shade on there. Okay, so we've got red next. We've got some red areas to do, so we're going to paint those with some Mephiston red. Then give that a wash, then work on his boots, his wee little booties. The wrong way. The right way. That might help mine it. Right, so this bit here is red. It's like a little cannon sort of thing. That's red, and we've got bits on his breastplate is also red. Let's have a look. Oh, and this bit here at the top there is also red as well. So we'll get those painted. I really do like painting red. I really lost the ability to say something else. I really do like painting red. I think it's one of my favorite colors to paint. It's very easy to do. I think to be honest, I think it's the easiest color to paint. And then blue after that. The most annoying colors to paint for me is green. I hate painting green. I don't like green as a color. And one thing I do like though is Marvel. And one thing they seem to have is a lot of green characters. Like a lot. So that was a pain in the bum. I mean, some people will say the worst paint or worst color to use is white, but white is fairly easy. You just need to be patient with it. It's not the same as any light color, really. You just need to be patient, multiple layers, and don't sweat it at the end of the day. All depends on what you use as base coat as well. Obviously, if you're going dark, it's going to be hard to paint the light colors, and if you're going light, it's actually going to be hard to paint the darker colors because the light will go through a bit. So you generally need a couple more coats than you think you need on occasion. This is really hard to get around his head. Okay, so that's that done well. So this is breastplate. Yeah, I do regret Glue on this guy to his base.
No, just definitely not bad. You know what, guys? One of these concerns. I should do some. Yeah, people can see this done. No. If you want to make over, it's the house in an hour. You don't have to use fires like that. Somebody did something bad.
Okay, give it a wash with some carrot breadcrumbs in.
This is no act of God. Person did this. A person who works in this office. And you know what? Today is not a good day to go to that contest. We're not doing it. That doesn't seem fair. You want to talk about fair? Does anyone do the smell model carpet? You're telling me how that was fair, and I'll tell you how this is fair. Plus, I think the picture today is taken away. I am a victim of a hate crime. Still what I'm talking about. It's not what a hate crime is. Well, I hated it a lot. You know what? If the guilty person would just come forward and take the punishment, you'd be back.
There you go, gotta be careful there, not to cover up the tiny little eye. The little tiny little yellow eye. Gotta be careful not to accidentally cover that. Right, let's get his shoes painted. Let's give you some Steel Legion drab for that. So basically I'm going to paint his loincloth and his booties. That's the right thing, with some Steel Legion drab. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to smush my paintbrush against my desk. Probably potentially you're up. I don't want to hit there. Hit that. Never mind. Oh, no, you're good. Well, somebody did something in my office and announced it to do on purpose and for what we done. No, yeah, somebody wants to do it. So, how did you deal with it? You can't expect to be friends with everybody. No, they'll always think of you as a boss friend. Not necessarily. You can love a boss that can do a lot. Workers, family, friends. Last week I would have been on the surface. Right in the stomach, put in my face. I don't have a relationship. So that when you say, yeah, I don't give my organs to my girlfriend.
So you call that? You go by number. You call that? Let's go.
Yeah, so booties in his little thing done. Going to give that a wash with some Agrax Earthshade. Nice deep, dark wash. Gonna have a drink first, because lovely. It's warm because it's been in the sun. Disgusting. Ugh. Oh, that's actually really rank. Ugh. Right, now the wash is on the boots and the light cloth. I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to go back to painting the orange, and hopefully this orange is thickened up a little bit, so I can just quickly give it a relayer. No, really hasn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it with some Fire Dragon Bright. And get that sort of ditwy. There we go, that's nice. And got more. Yep, actually goes on properly. So continue to highlight. Alright, back to the harder part. Not normally very good at freehand. Or abstract shapes, but I'm not very good at doing the regular shapes. Right, wash on the red is also dry, so we're going to highlight that with a 50-50 mix of Mephiston Red and Evil Sun Scarlet. If you watch my channel, you notice I use a lot of in-between mixes. The reason why I do that is because I like the more subtler, I don't know what this is, more subtler sort of look rather than a deep or a bright, immediate highlight. Because nothing looks like that in real life. It really bugs me that sort of miniature painting does that. I mean, right now we're wearing a black top. At no point are there any sharp white highlights on my black top. I've got the latest Combat Patrol, Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol issue, and the painting for the first issue that I'll be doing is going to be continuing with the Chaos that arrived, and they want me to use Calgar Blue to highlight the black, and well, I'm not going to do that. I think that looks horrible. So I'm just going to use my corvus black and have a much more subtle highlight. But at the moment we're painting red. It's sad looking gargoyle thing, isn't it? Can't see that. Really can't see that. Right at the top here. I definitely need better lighting. It's fine. It's okay-ish for me, but it's absolute garbage for the webcam. So I need to get another tripod, set up another light, get that behind me so everybody can see there, including me. Highlight his breastplate. This is the only highlight I'm going to do on the breastplate because the breastplate in the other art is quite dark. To be honest, I think I've used the wrong colour. I think it's more of a corn red rather than a Mephiston red, but it looks fine. So there we are. Again, noticing it. Right, then we're using Evil Sun Scarlet to do one more highlight. Oh, bugger. I was already open. Corn. I got a, that's been Cowboy Crimson. Okay, so paint the little sad gargoyle. I mean, I guess he's sad because I think he's a missile. I'd be sad if I was a missile too. My only purpose in life was to blow stuff up. I used to have this this vehicle as a toy when I was younger. I used to have loads of He-Man and Master of the Universe, to be honest. All gone now, all sold. Gone on to people who are going to take better care of it than I ever would, because to be honest, it will just end up in a loft somewhere. There we go. He's coming along nicely. We're nearly done him. Let's see. There's a tiny bit of red. The tiniest of tinies. Tiny little wee little bit of red. And they went all slightly Irish there. There's a wee little bit of red just at the bottom there. So that's what we're going to do. So there we go. That's that red all done. What's next? Still using drab is still drying. What's left on this guy actually? It's just this still using drab and then. Okay, so we need to use some Warpstone Glow to do some of the detailing on the side. Now this is where things are going to get a little bit tricksy, so I'm going to switch from this brush to my detail brush. Always useful to have a detail brush, because that way you can do tiny little details. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. Okay, so it's kind of like a weird pattern. So little arrow at the bottom. Let's get that done. And then kind of like a follow the lines. There you go. You probably can't see that very well, but absolute nightmare. I've got to record that as well. Let's not forget to record that bit. Let's start that carefully. There we go. That's those annoying bits done. Okay, so I need some darker green. So I'm going to use some Caliban green, and then some lighter green, which will be moot green. For more detailing on the front part. You can barely see this. This is pointless. That still needs to be done. This green is like, it's like a very dark green on a slightly dark green. That's kind of the pattern we've got here. That's that done, and then the moot green finally to finish that section off. It's not the best job. because I'm not good. Again, I'm not great at freehand, but it'll do. It'll do, donkey. It'll do. Right now, just need to highlight that Steel Legion drab, which to go for Steel Legion drab. That's a bit too wee, too bright. Andrew Dust, maybe? I would compare it, but I can't see it as Andrew Dust anywhere. Baneblade Brown. Ah, there we go. Baneblade Brown. That's the solution for Steel Legion drab. I'm also going to put my detail brush back because that's the one I mostly use to paint eyes and things with. Right, so I mix in some Baneblade Brown with the Steel Legion drab, get a little bit of light or a little bit more of a transitional mix. And paint them little pooties. And we can actually record it. There we go, and then we'll do Baneblade Brown just by itself.
Sports metaphors are one of the ways in which we $1 million. Silly, but over it. So, from Walgreens, park of the course is golf term. It means right on track. Below par means of course. What about talking about? Like nothing sounds
Alright, with that, all that's left is his base, or bases. You'll notice this isn't undercoated because I always forget to actually undercoat these bits when painting these models. So, my fault, my bad, not going to undercoat it now because I can't be bothered to go downstairs and spray it. Some Mornfang Brown, that's the way I've painted the rest of these bases. So,
We don't have kids. We have no kids, right? But, okay, that's a good try. Situation? Yeah. Yes. Excuse me. Yeah. I'm told there's been some interest in forming a union and I'd like to support it. Obviously, he's not trained to do this, but he didn't tell you that. So listen. If there is even a whiff of unionizing in this drug, I can guarantee you the branch will be shut down like that. The unionized tickets here, you all know what happened. And of course, they're giving you a fortune and legal fees. Union dues, not even that, you have to lose your job. So I'm pretty wrong and hard for sacrificing your savings and your futures just for some money. If you have any further questions, you can direct them to me. Like to think about the terrace, it's nice, but it's just something I got in the truck when I was 12. The girl has a terrace outside of her bedroom. She planted flowers on it, and I just love that. It's always been fun with me. What is like, there's no being so familiar with it. What?
There we go. And I'm just going to paint this base without worrying about undercoat on it.
I'm not going to try to get a house like that. They don't even live house like that. So I'm never going to.
Now I can't remember if I paint the stones or not. I know I paint the skulls, obviously.
Pizza, great equalizer. Rich people love pizza, poor people love pizza, white people love pizza, black people love pizza. Black people love pizza. Thank you to our host. Oh.
Just going to quickly dash and have a look to see what actually. If I did paint these stones on these, because otherwise I need to get some. Also now back in the no. Okay.
It's kind of like great that everybody did that.
Right, I did use Dawnstone to paint the little rocks, so let's highlight mud with some scrag brown, if I can find it anyway. That's testicle flesh. That there. Okay, good old dry brush.
The best presents would be you do a good job in front of the UCF. Dude, you're nailing. You in New York? Oh, I own that city. Forget about it.
That is very annoying. That's not right. There you go. There we go. There's some dawnstone to paint the little. Where is my dawnstone? I really need to organise this paint. Jesus, this is ridiculous. You know, they were organised at one point. I used to be very organised and very neat, and everything used to be everywhere it needed to be. And now I'm just like, I'll do. Put back there, put back there, put back there, and then I slow down and everything, and wonder why I'm slowing down. Okay, so we use the dawnstone to paint the little stones that are all over the bases, just to give the base a little bit of variation, and so it doesn't look just so you're uniform and blah. Hang on a moment. It's going to be a cold call. Hello? 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 No? Okay, bollocks to you then. Fucking cold callers, man.
This is the world famous Rockefeller Center. Now it's called Theodore Rockefeller. This is the skating rink. And I think the Rangers practice there sometime. And that's the better.
Okay, all these.
Hello? Hello? Hi. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were okay. You look a lot like you said. Hello? Hello? I thought that was your day. Okay. So, are you serious? He's here? What? Am I talking to the fake in the day? Come on. No, she's... I would love to live in the with corporate, with dinner, awesome and brother flowers and hot dogs. Then it's very good. New York is like staying home, honestly. No, I'm speaking rock on steroids. Okay. I think let's do the Hudson Reed, so we're back. We'll be back this week. There's a lot of pressure on me right now. It's like Michael Jordan in the NBA Finals, or like Stormy Norman Sports Park. And this presentation is dead with the storm. And as soon as it's over, you are not together over that again. Still.
This is not the right size brush for what I'm doing here. This is a garbage brush too. Let's use a better one. Time to catch up. So back. Sorry about that. Been a stressful morning and still have things to sort out. Well, I hope everything's okay. How's it going? Quite well. We finished the Battleground. He's all done. Well, he is. I'm just finishing off his base and his little secondary base as well. Currently painting some rocks. And then after I've done this guy, I'm going to start some Ewoks for Star Wars Shatterpoint. This is exciting. Right, so I need some admin grey, which is everything looks. Why does every color when you're looking for one looks the same? Where are you? Oh, that's cool. See, that's Corax white, Aerolite white, Celestial grey. You know what? I'm just going to use my old favorite grey set. A little bit of a mix. With the Dawnstone, just lighten it a bit, or darken it a bit, I should say. Just noticed that the skulls on this base are bigger than the actual like model skulls would be. So they obviously don't belong to the humans. Sounds fun and relaxing. Yeah, it is. I did have a little stressful bit while I was painting painting some freehand, but that's because I'm not very good at painting freehand or overly keen on it, to be honest. All right, I need to sort out the Morghast. I will paint the skulls with some Morghast bone, which is there.
We had a total of 4% organic growth, which is just above our food.
She'd let me get rid of some of my stress. Lol. I mean, yeah, you should paint. Get yourself some brushes. Get yourself some models. You can use my guides. That'll help you. Right, with bone. So normally I would put a wash down on the skulls, and then highlight them. So afterwards, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of a mix, and I'm going to paint the skulls with that, and then I'm going to highlight the skulls because the bases are going to be washed with a watered down Agrax Earth shade, which will put all the shading into the skulls. So I don't want to double shade them and make the bits too deep and dark, like the eye sockets and stuff, because that'll take away from a thing. I don't know whether to go to the doctors today or Monday. I mean, you could go today, I guess. It'd be like easier than going Monday, wouldn't it? Get out of the way then. I know I'd just get things out of the way if I've got horrible things to do, rather than leaving it. The quicker you get them done, the quicker they're gone. That's my advice, anyway. Completely forgot to actually highlight the rocks on that base. Okay, so can't be asked. Lol. Well, I mean, that's up to you then. At the end of the day, so highlight the skulls with some wraithbone. Yeah, it's just a very, very quick and dirty highlight. Quick and dirty. Not gonna make that joke. Oh, this Abaddon black. This Abaddon black is like constantly like leaking, which is really annoying. Okay, so I need to do the Abaddon black on both the rim. I need to neaten up the rim. And I need to do it on this little bit here, then some matte white, and then we're done. Battleground has got like a directional pointer, so you can see what direction the characters may be facing at all times, because spacing is important in that game anyway. It's not in most games. Wholeheartedly recommend Battleground. If you've never played it, have a look up on YouTube. I'm always going to say this with Battleground. I think it's a wonderful game. It's an amazing game. It's super fun. It's super easy to pick up. The models are fantastic. And yeah, just seek out a copy or have a look on YouTube to see if it's up your alley, as it were. I need to go get some documents as proof of the signal. It cost £40-something. Oh my god! Why is it going to cost you 40 quid for? That's ridiculous. Yeah, no wonder you can't be asked. Yeah, back to something happy. Battleground. Battleground is a really, really fun game. It's available everywhere now, which is good. They've got some, like I said, they've got some absolutely amazing models for it. I know that as I mentioned earlier today, there is a come on. Have you painted all of the Marvel Zombie models? Yes, I have. Marvel Zombies is now done and dusted. Well, not completely done and dusted. I've got to sort of varnish the models so they don't get damaged while they're in their boxes and their cases. But otherwise, they're all painted. They're all finished. It's all done, and I'm back to normally sort of painting normal stuff, not worrying about giant models. I did back the Deceased, which is the DC version of Marvel Zombies. That's meant to come out later this year. So I think I'm going to paint the core set of that, get that up on the channel, and then sort of paint the other stuff slowly, rather than stress myself out about it and get it all done in one go. Which is what I did with Marvel Zombies. That's another good game, by the way. If you haven't played Marvel Zombies, I'd suggest that. It's very similar to Zombicide, though. Apart from this time, you're playing as the zombies. Get out of the way, you. So if you don't like Zombicide, you're not going to like Marvel Zombies. I love Zombicide. I've got the second edition. I did have the first edition, but I sold the first edition to get the second edition. That's all fully painted. Well, not all fully painted. I got to do the Monty Python stuff. But yeah, I've got second edition of Zombicide. I've got White Death, which I need to paint. I got that because I originally weren't going to get it. I was like, nah, I'll pass. I don't need another Zombicide. And they're like, here's some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stuff to go with it. And I was like, oh, damn you. So I backed that Kickstarter just for the turtles. So I've got those to do. I've got Night of the Living Dead Zombicide, which is fantastic. I love that little game. It's slightly different to normal Marvel Zombies, and that's also fully painted. So I'm happy with that too. I've got Warhammer Quest's Cursed City. That's the last Warhammer Quest I've got that needs to be painted. So I'm going to start painting that this year. At some point, I'm sounding like we're at the beginning of the year. We're near at the end of the year, aren't we? Good Lord. I'm going to start painting that at the end of the year. Probably start doing it for Halloween, actually. Get some spooky stuff on the channel. That is going to need a second coat. I've already globbed that on. That's not good. Don't glob paint on. Even if God, I can't speak. Even if it is a thing. what I've got to paint or to put together, which I'm super pumped about. I can't wait to get these bad boys put together. Are this is the TMNT orcs that from what they're called, Puppets of War, who make 40k miniatures, but obviously they're not official. They're not a license. They're not licensed or anything like that. But they are phenomenal. They're sort of phenomenal stuff. If you're old to my channel, if you're thinking, you'll have noticed that I've got the Ghostbuster orcs that they did, and I've also got the Back to the Future / Rick and Morty stuff as well, which were really fun to paint. I actually love painting that stuff, and I can't wait to paint these TMNT stuff. So to get this finished and out of the way, it's a matter of watering down some Agrax Earthshade and just coating the base. The reason why I add some watered down Agrax Earthshade is because it helps blend in like the rocks and everything to each other. So we've got like a nice sort of unifying wash that's very natural and very sort of earthy. So nothing sticks out. If you use a black wash, that tends to make things stick out a little bit more. And obviously I water it down because that's quite harsh, if you can see that. It's quite a harsh sort of shade. So when it's on the rocks, it completely overpowers it. But by watering it down, it thins it out nicely. So it blends in everything a lot better. And some dollops here and there. Right, there we go. Bingo bango bongo. That is the battle ram for Master of the Universe Battleground. Done. So there we go. You cannot see that because of the lighting. There you go. Hold it there. There we go. It's finished. I definitely need to do something with the lighting in here, I think. Because the sun is right here. The sun is like, whoa. But yeah, that's that out of the way. I don't want to put that on there. Redecorate that second. So let's do that. I'll put that there for now. Right. Ewoks time. Let's close down the reference I've got for that. Oh, wow. So I mentioned Puppets of War, and I've got an email from Puppets of War. That's pretty cool. What we got? We've got an Orc jet fighter. Let's have a look. I mean, I would look. Hello. It's got promo offer, 30% off. Ooh, wee. That is a nice looking. It's a multi-unit set too. That is a nice looking thing. Oh boy, I would show it to you, but I can't. I'm like set up to do picture in picture, so you just have to hear me cream over these models. It's verifying that I'm human. I guess I get lots of bots. What is this about? I am human. I promise you, I'm human. I don't think robots are going to be interested in orcs. Right. So while that's verifying me, I've got some Ewoks to paint for Star Wars Shatterpoint and a Princess Leia. I'm going to start on the Ewoks first, though, because it's lots of browns. So basically, I've got two units of the same thing. So they're like, these are all the same. But I want to mix things up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick to the original color scheme for one. And the other, so that's one, that's t'other. And so the other one, I'm going to use the same colors, but I'm going to put them on different Ewoks so they look a little bit less uniformed and more thingy. Oh, that is a really nice looking orc jet. Oh wow, that's really nice. It is 66 euros though, so it's maybe. Maybe. So that's opening offer price. So it's normally 100. Pubs of War, though, they do quite a lot of sales. So that's generally when I buy my stuff. Right. So we've got. Let's do the bog standard. They're not named troops first. So look at things. We've got one that's Dryad Bark, so we'll do that. Where is my Dryad Bark? I had it out earlier. Where are you? I literally used it like yesterday. There it is. So I've got the Dryad Bark. I definitely need to get some blinds so I can reduce the light. And we're going to paint, normally it's this little dude that is Dryad Bark by the look of things. So we're going to paint one of these guys, and then we're going to paint this one here, I think, on his. Actually, no, because that'll blend in with the tree. So we'll paint this one. So Dryad Bark and Dryad Bark for those two. I think. Yeah, I'm going to have to try and refrain from what colours. Have they got different colour? They do. They have different colour straps and things. Okay. Let's do the fur first. Why with the fur? A little bit of... Oh, I've just realised I need to actually get the shot of me for the paint guy before I start painting them. Am I out? Mine up. Yeah, go a couple of seconds. I do apologise. There we go, 10 seconds. That gives me enough time to blather on what I need to blather on at the beginning. And then, alright, Dryad Bark on this little tuckus. Again, Star Wars Shatterpoint is a very fun game. If you haven't played that, that's very enjoyable. I found most skirmish games are. I'd like to try Infinity, but the problem is Infinity apparently is very complex, and I can't be bothered to learn like any more complex rules. I've got enough rule systems battering around in my head. What with 40k and Shatterpoint, Crisis Protocol, Zombicide, Judge Dredd, the Doctor Who game, so loads of stuff. Then I've got all the roleplay stuff as well as knocking around up there. Plus, I'd like to play it, but I think I'd quite happily play it if I knew someone else who play it and they had the models. I think I don't need any more games. I need to buy any more games because I've got so many as it is. I've even got like multiples on Kickstarter as well. I backed the Godzilla game that's coming. I backed the G.I. Joe game that's also on its way. I did that though on the hope that eventually we'll get a Transformers game, because that would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, so I think I'm going to have to try and avoid Steel Legion Drab, possibly. It's a lot of browns, so I've got to try and make sure the browns are kind of blended or don't blend in with each other. Some browns are going to end up being fur, some browns are going to end up being both fur and the cloth. By the look of things. Yeah, get the fur out of the way first. Get all that done. I'm going to dry brush the fur, I think. Get it nice and highlight. What colour are these guys' faces? All going to be different colours, aren't they? Oh no, this guy has got a brown face. So his face matches the rest of his fur. That's good. Some of these others don't. Some of these others have got like lighter faces. So like I said, I try to copy or get the box art sort of as much as possible. Especially when it comes to like named characters like these three. So I want it to match. But these little dudes, one's going to match, the other's going to be slightly different. So let's do this one dryad bark as well. We do it the same way, just do all his fur, including his face. I sprayed these guys with some matte white spray from Colourforge. If you want sprays, I highly recommend Colourforge. I'm not paid by them, just in case anyone asks. They are generally the best sprays on the market. The worst are the sprays you can get from TT Combat. Avoid those sprays at all costs. I bought the black from that, and it is tacky. Everything was sticky afterwards, and it's really weird. I've never had a spray that is sticky, so avoid those like the plague in the TT Combat. Sometimes cheaper isn't always better, but Colourforge are pretty much the same price as TT Combat, but they're just 1,000 times better. Plus, you can get a wide range of paint of colors as well. They do all the base colors for the main chapters for like Space Marine Legions, so I'll speed up your progress when painting them, especially if you've got a full army to paint. Because it's a pain in the backside when you've got hundreds of models, or well, hundreds are not anymore. When you've got quite a lot of models to paint, you want to get them done quickly. So yeah, Colourforge is the way forward. They're really, if you get them from the website as well, they ship out really fast, like within 24 hours, which is good, which is great. I've not touched any sprays outside Citadel ones, but heard good things of Colourforge the last few years. Yeah, they are really, really good, mate. They are proper sprays. They're absolutely fantastic. The Citadel ones are okay, but they're not. I don't think they're worth the money anymore because I forgot to do his ears. I got to do his ears. They're not worth the money anymore. I don't think the cans are smaller. Or the Citadel white cans are smaller than the Colourforge ones. Whereas like the Citadel ones are about £15 a pop, if memory serves, plus postage, because of course you've got to pay for a courier, because Royal Mail will not deliver. I need a little bit more dry bark. That's frustrating, because Royal Mail won't deliver, obviously. Sprays. Where did I put my dry bark? Curse you! Oh my god, where did I put that? But yeah, I can't praise Colourforge enough. I have no idea where I put my dried bark. That's really infuriating. There it is. I can't praise them. I can't praise them enough. The cans are bigger. Actually, hang on. I can show you. They're here. So this is the size of a Citadel can. You can see that. And then right next to that, these are cheaper as well. You've got quite a lot more in the can. These are the Colourforge ones are 500 milliliters, and the Citadel ones are 400 milliliters. And quite often as well, Colourforge do. There's not doing no stuff. Colourforge do quite often do little offers where you can like 3 for 30, which is a bargain. And as I said, they dispatch super quick, like super quick as well. Earlier this year, I ordered some sprays from Zatu Games, and it took, for some reason, it took like a month nearly for them to dispatch my items. Everything was in stock when I bought it as well. I said it was in stock when I bought it, but it took them a month to dispatch it all, which is absolutely outrageous. So during that month, while I was waiting and I got annoyed, I just went straight to Colour Forge Games themselves, ordered the sprays that I needed, and they arrived within the next day. So don't go to Zatu Games for sprays, I guess, is the lesson there. They're not very good. Mind you saying that, they never dispatch anything quickly anymore. I usually dispatch like super fast, but the last few things I've bought from them, they've taken forever. Okay, you know what? I think I'm going to paint. Okay, I'm going to paint the trees dryad bark as well on here, and I'm going to paint the tree base on all of these as well, because I've all got tree. Get that dryad bark out of the way early. So that way, oh, I need to. Yeah, I'm not going to keep griping on about things that happen. I want this channel to be sort of quite a chill, relaxed channel. You know, no moaning about stuff. I don't want to get into, because I notice a lot of YouTube channels thrive on moaning about companies and things like that. And I don't want to be that sort of channel. No negative. I don't want negativity here. You know. It's like be like a nice chill zone that people can come and relax to, start making friends and things like that. That's the plan, anyway. If it'll end up like that is another thing. You know, painting is meant to be relaxing and nice and chill. And I think the hobby should be relaxing and chill too. Too many people take this hobby too seriously now, especially the tournament players. Like, you're playing with little toy soldiers. Chill. Calm down a bit. Ooh, friends. Wargaming friends. Yeah, it has to plan at the end. Get those. Oh, friends. Get those friends in. People can make friends. Is that rock or is that rock? Okay. I should really note this on the paint guide as well. I'm also painting the branches. It's always best to get anything you're going to dry brush out of the way first if you can. Sometimes, obviously, you can't because they're like things that are always going to. I just got paint on my finger. That's useful. They're going to be stuff that you but I like to get as much dry brushing done if I'm going to do it out of the way first. And these are little teddy bears, basically, so they need dry brushing to help pick out that fur. Although saying that, but look at things, the fur is not very detailed on these guys. It's very very flat. So one done. I have not glued that on there properly. Good lord. Look at that. There's a massive gap there, like right there. That's not good. I didn't notice that when I glued them in. I was doing it in a rough, so go on. I wanted to get them stuck together so I can get them sprayed up so I can get them ready. Any more dry bark? I keep using this stuff so much. That's not a problem. I'm going to be adding stuff for the first time. I'll be adding stuff to these bases anyway. Normally I don't do that with shatterpoint because obviously they come with pre-done bases, but to me it doesn't make sense for Ewoks to be fighting on concrete. It looks a bit weird. So thankfully I've got some stuff to base them with. I've also got some leaves, some scatter leaves, which are fantastic for forest bases. When I first saw them, I was like, "Oh, that's amazing!" And it really helps the base pop when it's a forest base. I used it for some Harry Potter models, the Knights models. They're dreadful. They break really easily. Don't buy them if you can. Just avoid it. But yeah, to help accentuate things, I use the bases. Yep, I think that's a postman. Hang on, wait a sec. Oh. Bestie. Right, I'm back. Sorry, I had to pop off. Postman popped something through the door. Not entirely sure what it is. I'll open it after the stream. I've only got 20 minutes left of the stream. And then I'm quite satisfied with today's work, to be honest. Finished off the Battleground stuff. Starting to get stuck into these little Ewoks. That's a really annoying bit. Get under there. Yeah. Get stuck in these little Ewoks. God, sick of painting wood. Can you stand on wood? No, there is a tree bit here. Is that done? So I don't know which one. I don't know if any of these are Wicket. I think Wicket comes with the other pack. Yeah, I think Wicket's in this one, in this pack here. Because there's the Medicine Man. Low grade, isn't it? Low grade, the Scout Wicket, and many cunning Ewok hunters. So I've got myself a tiny little force of teddy bears that managed to somehow completely destroy a far superior technological race. Just so George Lucas can sell some toys. God, I love Star Wars. I don't know who these guys are then. I'm guessing one of these is the chief. I really should look into that before I start. I've done the voiceover for my paint card. That's otherwise I'll be this Ewok here. It's also very. I pricked my finger the other day with a cactus and it really hurt. I think I got a little bit of cactus stuck in there. But ho hum. Right, and Leia's got a little bit of wood on her base as well. This will be the third Leia I've painted for Star Wars Shatterpoint, because I've got the other two sets that she's in as well. Because she's obviously in a Bosch outfit in the Return of the Jedi one, where you get Jedi Luke, and she's in a You get the princess version of her as well, with another Luke, with Han and Chewie. So it's quite cool though, because you can kind of recreate certain scenes in Star Wars, which is always fun to do. Okay, right, so that's the Dryad bark out of the way. Almost, I missed a bit there. That's really irritating. What other colours have we got here? We've got some grey. Grey. Oh, so this one is kind of like a dark grey, but look, I think it's an Eshin grey. So we'll do this one Eshin grey for one side, and this one will do Eshin grey as well. So there's the Eshin grey. What's the final colour? The final colour looks a bit Steel Legion drab. I think the one that isn't standing on the wood is the one that rides the stormtrooper speed to distract them. Possibly, yeah. I think so. It's hard to tell, to be honest. They're going to blend in. Right, so this one is the Eshin Grey. When they released the Ewoks for Legion, I was quite tempted to get them, but then I thought, no, I don't want to be painting loads of Ewoks. I'll just stick with the Imperium and Imperial, and the Rebels. But then saying that, I actually looked at Legion for ages, and I think they're releasing a new version, possibly a more updated version. They're definitely releasing more models and newer models, which are kind of cool. But again, I don't need them. I've got the Legion. I just hope they don't do what they did with X-Wing, which is where they went, here's the second edition. Now give us loads of money to replace all the cards that you already have, because I worked out, and this is what stopped me playing X-Wing, was I worked out that it would cost me £140 just to replace the cards that I had, because I had obviously Imperial stuff, I had the First Order stuff, and I had the Resistance and the Rebels, and I had a little bit of the Scum and Villainy stuff. So I was just like, nah, you're right. And then eventually I sold it, because obviously I lost interest in it. Bit of a shame, because it was a fun game. I wish I hadn't got rid of it. I wish I just kept it and just carried on going. Yeah, you can always play older editions. I don't know. I just didn't have that attitude at the time. Like I am tempted to pick up the second edition of 40k, but last year they released the quality of Shatterpoint missions kind of ruined Legion ones for me. It's hard to go back. Yes, that's true as well. That is very true. The Legion stuff is incredible, isn't it? Sorry, not the Legion stuff. The Shatterpoint stuff is incredible. They are such phenomenal models. I think Atomic Mass do some of the best models on the market. The Crisis Protocol stuff is really good as well. I mean, obviously you get the occasional Duff looking model, but for the most part, they're really lovely looking things. Really nice, really well sculpted. The detailing is pretty good. They're fun to paint as well. I love painting this stuff. I've got quite a lot of Crisis Protocol stuff. Like I used to have it all. I used to buy it as soon as it came out, but then it got a bit overwhelming, and I was like, I'd be spending like upwards of £100 a month on Crisis Protocol, and I was like, no, that's not something I'm into. So I'm slowly getting the stuff that I've got painted, and when I paint it up, I buy next set, which is what I'm doing with the Shatterpoint stuff as well. I got these. I've got the other Ewoks. I've got like a Jedi box that they released this year, and I think I've got Lando Calrissian as well. I've got him in Bespin and all that stuff. So that'll be the next things I paint. And then I kind of want the Andor stuff because I really like that. I really liked Andor. I think it was a great show. And I would like to get that. But I think I'm getting too heavily on the good side. I need to get some of the bad guys so I can even things out a bit. I know you don't need to. You can play whatever you want to play against. But for me, I need to think. It's slightly OCD of me. I just need them to be even. I kind of hope they don't do massive vehicles or anything though for Shatterpoint, because that might. I mean, it would be nice to see a really big ATST and paint that, but at the same time, with their prices, because they are ridiculously expensive, probably 300 quid. I think they're releasing some new scenery for Shatterpoint as well, which looks really nice. So I might have to invest in that as well. I actually need to put the scenery together for Star Wars Shatterpoint, because originally I was planning on moving, but then that fell through. So I just redecorated this flat instead, and I'm doing a little bit of catch up with the wargame and stuff. So I've got models that need to be stuck together and things like that. But I'll get there in the end. I'll get it all painted. Well, I probably won't ever get all my models painted because I won't stop buying them. But I did get rid of some 40k stuff this year as well. Because for years I was like, if I ever get back into 40k, I'm going to get 2,000 points of every army. I got back into 40k and I started to get every army, and I don't play with most of them, and I don't care about a lot of them as well. I don't really like the Dark Eldar, so I got rid of those. The AdMech models are nice, but they're not my cup of tea on the battlefield, so I got rid of those. So it's all thingy. Right, I'm going to do the Steel Legion Drab for that, and I think that's probably going to take me up to 12, which is where I'm going to end things. So some Steel Legion Drab. I'll continue with these guys tomorrow. I won't be streaming tomorrow. Next time I'll be streaming is Monday. I'm not on very long on Saturdays, so I'll only be on for about sort of 45 minutes normally on a Saturday. So sorry, I was just checking that I've actually recorded the Issue Grey. Yeah, Saturdays is normally a little bit of a relaxation day, and then Sundays is the day that I finish up everything and get my Hobby Street video up. So I won't be streaming then either. So I'll be back on Monday. I don't know if I will probably be finishing off these guys, to be honest, on the Monday. Get these guys done and dusted. And then I've got Angel and Archangel from Crisis Protocol sitting in front of me. And some more Master of the Universe Battleground stuff, because I've had a few people ask if I'm going to continue doing the paint guides with those. And yes, I am. Quite frankly, I'm going to paint everything I've got. I like doing paint guides for people for games that are more obscure, because obviously so many people on YouTube just focus in on Warhammer and Games Workshop and stuff, and it can get really irritating if you're unsure how to paint something, a game that you've got that you really love but no one's doing paint guides for it, and you're a beginner, or you're just unsure of what colors to use, to be honest. That can be quite frustrating and annoying, so I'm here to fill that niche, as it were. Because as much as I love 40k, I love all wargaming, and I always will do. Also, I'm glad I'm nearly finished as well, because I need to I need to have a good look at the colors for the other hero Ewoks to see what colors they are. By the look of things, one is a Rakarth sort of flesh base coat, I think. I need to work out the other one. I think of browns as well. Wraith bone, that's kind of a brown, and we've got some Morghast bone that could be used. Mixing these things up to make them look a little bit different from each other, and of course they've got lots of brown on them in the way of clothing and stuff. So very brown. Last little Ewok. Get that base go down. I would do a wash, but well, to be honest, I think this is going to be one of these cases where you need to get all the base coats down for everything and then the wash afterwards. Right, there we go. That'll be it for today. We're 2 minutes to 12. I basically only do 2 hours a day. So thank you so much for watching. If you're watching this on the VOD, I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to tune in. There's a bit I missed there. That's really annoying. Feel free to tune in. I'm going to be streaming on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 12, unless of course something, unless life gets in the way. That's the intention. Of course, if you want to see the paint guides for these things, give the channel a subscribe. The paint guides for the things that I'm painting today will sort of go up in a few, sort of next week, possibly. Actually, 2 of them will go up next week. Shatterpoint 1 will probably be the week after. But yeah, thanks so much for joining me. I really hope you found it chill, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks again. Goodbye for now. Bye, sis.